Greetings friends, welcome. Today we're looking at React Suspense. React 18 Alpha has just been released at the time of recording this video, and it looks like React Suspense is bedding down. Hopefully this is more like the final version. There's still maybe some changes to it going forward, but yeah, hopefully this will be what we'll use once it's released fully. But before we jump in, actually, if you find yourself enjoying the video, feel free to click that subscribe button below. Change the alert icon to all and you'll get updates for future videos. Okay, what is Suspense? It basically gives us a nice way to show a loading state, a spinner say, when we're getting some data asynchronously. That may take some time. So if you're making a call to a database and while you're waiting for that data, you have to manually put up a spinner, and when you get the data back, you can replace that spinner with your information. You kind of have to do this a lot in applications, and it's a lot of boilerplate code, and there's a few intricacies in it to get it nice and working well. And Suspense is going to provide that for us. It will be able to coordinate across them, determine when a spinner shows, you know, what barrier, so after how many milliseconds. So yeah, it's going to make the life of a developer a lot easier. Right, let's jump in. I'm going to create a quick app using a fake API to start with, and then we'll add Suspense into it and show how that works. All right, what do we need? We're going to need the alpha version of React to start with. So let's do React at alpha and React DOM at alpha. They should come in pretty quick. And then let's open that up. And we'll create, and that's me. Yeah, we'll create a quick app file here. So let's have an app.jsx, and we'll import React and React DOM. Create our application, which is going to be very straightforward. Like so. Now with this latest version, it's a little different to set up your render. We actually want to do oh, I can see it. I can see a tap already. React DOM. We actually need to go React DOM.create root. So that's a new command there, and we provide our element in our web page. So we'll give it the app name there, and then we can call render on that and give it our component. So in this case, just app. Like so. That should get us something up on the screen. We need a web page, so let's have an index HTML. I'll save that. Like so, and so we just need to provide a div for that that app section that our application will render in, and then script .jsx. I should be able to get this up with parcel now. And if we look at that here, and then we look for the errors, React DOM is not defined. React DOM, all capitals. All right, so that is the basic framework for React. Now let's get some data as well. So let's have another method here, and we'll say fake data. And we're going to use Axios actually rather than fetch, just because it's a little bit easier. So we want to import that. And install that. Alright, and then we'll be able to say Axios.get, and then I need to grab this fake API, so let's go. We'll say fake JSON API, and we should just be able to grab an example here, so let's grab that one. And get the data back from that. Now, to display data from a fetch in React, we need to use effect. So what we'll do, we'll be calling this from within use effect. And when we get the data back, we're actually going to set fake data. And we'll set that to our response there. So we're going to need a, let me just get rid of this a bit. In fact, it is a little bit small, isn't it? A bit bigger there. So we're going to need to use state as well. So we'll have a fake data and a set fake data. And we can just set that to an empty array. So we'll make the call to this JSON here, and when we get the data back, we'll set it using the hook use state set fake data, and then we can just display that then within our component as fake data, and that should oh, I need to say there's no changes there on use effect. So if I give that a refresh now, oh, I need to kick off parcel again. So back in here, let's kick that off. And we should now see. Oh, yeah. I have created it, but I need to put it in here. So in here we would have our fake data component, like so. And that's better. So yeah, use state is not defined. Use state. Give that another refresh. Objects are not valid. That is because do I just want to put, if I just grab one bit of the response there. Alright, so let's give that a refresh. You can see it coming up very quickly there. But that is the title of the data we're getting back from this call. If I put in here then fake data, we should be able to see. It's not. It's not set it at that point, has it? Let's do let data equals, and then we'll just grab it there like so. Alright, so over here we can see, I'll make that a bit bigger as well. There's the title of what we're getting back, and it's displaying it up in here. So what you would potentially do is for fake data, you know, if this value was empty, we could put up, say, loading data, and then in here, once we've got the value, we just get rid of loading data and we put that in. So you've got to manually do that while you're waiting for that data. What Suspense is going to do is do that bit automatically for us, and we also don't have to be messing around too much with this stuff here. So let's have a look now at moving it over to Suspense. I'm going to need to pull in Suspense like so, and we're still going to make this call, but we don't necessarily need to do it in effect. So let's get rid of use effect like so, and we'll have fake data. Now Suspense relies on a bit of integration. You can't just use it automatically with, say, the fetch statement. It needs API integration. I think at the moment there's only API integration in Relay, but we can fake it here and show how it would work. We're going to need to add a couple of things that do that. I'm going to close this because we haven't got enough room. And let's put this into a different file just so that that's a bit nicer as well. So let's have a new file for fake data, and in here. So we're going to now call this function fake data. So I'm going to need to import it. Like so. But when we make this call, we need to return this enhanced object, this enhanced promise that Suspense can use. So we're going to be returning our call and the actual promise that it returns as well. So we don't need that stuff there. So yeah, so we're going to return this, but we're going to wrap it as well. So let's try and put that together. What I'm going to need is a wrapper for my promise that comes from my fetch. So I'm going to have a wrap promise here. And what it needs to know is what status this promise is in. So we're going to have a status setting, and we're going to say pending for the moment, and then we'll also have a result. Right, we're going to create something called a suspender, and that's going to take. Well, yeah, this method is going to take a promise in because we're going to wrap this promise. So this promise that has been passed in, we're going to add another then to it, and we'll have So in a normal promise world, we'll have a result. And what we'll do in there is we're going to set the status to be success if we get that, and then we can return the result. We'll set the result to be the value that we got passed in, and then also we'll have the error option, and in there we'll set the status to be error, and we'll also return our result as error. Now, have I got the formatting right there? I think so. I don't know why it's wrapped result like that. Oh, I need that there. Okay, and then that one there. Where is this one? This one's up here. I've got I don't know why the formatting's so bad on this one. That one's there. So we have res, and then we have error, and then we would close that off. Okay, that looks a bit better, a little bit better. Oh, this is promise. Right, so that is our suspender. And then this wrap promise is actually going to return an object with a read method on it. And in there, we're going to be able to check the status. So we're going to be able to say if the status is pending, which initially it is, then we will throw the suspender. So it kind of hooks, it kind of uses the try-catch mechanism in a way to be able to get this information about your request. So yeah, it hooks it to throw in our suspender. So if our promise is still pending, when Suspense looks at it, it will throw this object, and then when this object completes, you'll get the data and success. But then if it's not pending, say it's in the other option is it's in the error status, in that case we will throw the result. So we'll throw our result object in this case, and also when it's actually completed. Success. And in this case, when it's success, we will just return the result. Alright, so this stuff here, we don't really need to know how this works. This will be integrated into whatever library you're using. So when Axios gets Suspense integration as a plugin, whatever, it will do this automatically. You won't have to do this each time, but this kind of just shows what's going on under the hood in Suspense and how it's managing to do what it does. Right, so when we call fake data now, I don't need use state either now. What we will need to be doing is returning this wrapped function. So let me create an internal function here, fake data internal, and that will do my actual call. So in here, we're going to end up wanting to return an object that has our fake data, but it has its inside wrap promise. So we will call fake data internal. So we're going to call fake data internal. That will return the promise from our call. I'll get rid of the UI bit stuff here. And then we'll wrap that in this object here, which returns our suspender. And we'll return that back to our application. And that will mean in here, we can then call this read object on our data. So what we can do is make that call. So we can say const resource equals fake data. And then when we've got that resource, we can then read that information. So let's recreate our component here, because that's all now about calling the fake data. So let's have a fake data display. And this one is going to use that resource now. So we don't need this. We don't need use effect or anything anymore. Now we need to use this object here. So we would be saying our data equals resource. And if we go back into fake data, the resource is going to be returning this guy here. So we'd have fake data. Resource.fake data, and then we can call the read method on that, and then simply return that in here. So we'd have our data.title again. So this is now our new object that goes in there, and then we can wrap this with suspense. And we can provide a fallback here. Can I remember the syntax here? If we look here, we just need that guy there. So we have a fallback. So you can have a spin or whatever. You can put anything in here, any HTML. So let's just put loading for the moment to keep that nice and simple. And then that should potentially work. Let's have a look at what errors we're getting to start with. Fake data is not a function. Okie dokie. Resource equals fake data. Alright, fake data. Yeah, so I need to export this guy. That will help it there a bit, hopefully. Wrap promise is not defined. Okay, wrap promise. Alright, Axios is not defined. Yes, in here we're no longer using it there. It's in fake data. Okay. Alright, so if I refresh here now, you can see that loading coming up. It's all a bit quick. Let's go and into the network and slow things down. So slow 3G. Give it a refresh. So our page is loading. Oh, Slow 3G is slow. We're not even getting our page first. Maybe fast 3G. Because we're in debug, I guess we got quite a bit of data. Let's go fast 3G. All right. Oh, and then okay. And you saw the load. Let me do it one more time. Again, our initial app is yeah. So we see loading coming up there, and then it's replaced by the data from that table. So with Suspense, that is all handled there for us, rather than having to do that manually ourselves. And like I say, you won't have to do all this internal stuff. The suspender and the read, that will be provided by the library of your choice, hopefully going forward. Right, there you go. A little overview, a little deep dive into Suspense. Hope that was interesting. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if not. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you next time. Bye.